care less and manifest. So you've probably heard online, if you studied any manifestation stuff, that when you detach, when you no longer need it, that's when it happens. That's when you manifest. And this is true. Happiness, manifestation are really when you don't need to see reality change, when you don't have emotional dependence on seeing your reality change. But this is far easier said than done because you still want stuff. You still desire stuff. You're like, oh, when I get the money, then I'll feel good. Oh, when I get the relationship, I'll feel good. Oh, when I get those new Nikes, I'll feel good. This is working backwards. And in this video, I'm going to show you 4 reasons why you're still attached, how to fix it and detach so you can finally care less and manifest. Let's get into it. So, what were you gonna say?
No, I was saying it's actually so true, like it's facts. Because the other day I was trying so hard to manifest something and I was doing all the things I needed to for my health and this and that. And I'm like, I just want to just feel like this again. I want to feel great. And then the minute I was like, you know what, forget this. Like I'm changing the plan up. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then literally within like days of that, it came and it happened.
There you go. That's how it operates. All right. So this is my diagram of reality, the law of correspondence. We're broken up into a spiritual, mental, and physical world. They all affect one another. And there are 4 things that you are currently doing that are stopping you from caring less to manifest. The first one is comparison, okay? When you compare yourself to other people, you start triggering polarities in the mind, all right? You deem things as negative and you deem things as positive. I haven't said this yet, but in case you haven't noticed, I did get a whiteboard. It's easier to deal with. And my blackboard started peeling and I got too much cleaning material on it and it just started falling apart. So we're here with the whiteboard and hopefully you enjoy it. It's actually a lot simpler for me. I just wanted to use a blackboard because everyone else is using a whiteboard, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, when you are in a cycle of comparison, in the mind, you are seeing things as negative and positive, okay? This is the law of polarity, the 4th law of the universe. Everything has light and dark, hot and cold, soft and hard, etc. opposites, right? Now, they're a spectrum. At the furthest ends of these spectrum, the same things happen, right? You can't see in the maximum levels of darkness. You can't see in the maximum levels of light. If you have the maximum levels of orderliness, you have OCD, which is a form of chaos. If you have the maximum levels of chaos, like a huge element of ADHD, for instance, you have chaos. Both lead to chaos and problems at the furthest spectrums. Now, when you are comparing yourself to people, you are creating negative polarities, but you're also creating positive polarities, all right? On this side, you're saying, oh man, I don't have what they have. Or you see your ex on the internet with some new man who's flying around and doing all kind of thing. And you're like, oh wow, maybe I was the problem. And you get these negative emotions. At the same time, when you hop online and you're on Instagram and you're on social media, because the internet has exacerbated this problem, right? You hop on the internet, you see all these fantasy things. You see all these people having all these trips and all these cars and all these nice things. And you're like, oh, I want that. This is positive dopamine. I feel like I can have a life like this. And what happens is you get on an addiction cycle, okay?
Yes, he's talking to you, Instagram era.
Yes. Instagram is doing this to people. TikTok and Instagram, especially short form content. Short form content, the addiction of short form content, they're saying is actually more damaging than alcohol. So be careful.
And to think they're doing both.
They're doing both. They're drinking and they're watching IG 20 hours a day. Now, what happens when you go between these polarities, right? You end up creating a frequency of addiction, okay? You're addicted to the screen. Create a frequency. Up here we got fast. Down here we have slow. Okay. Spiritual plane moves the fastest. Physical plane moves the slowest. This is the law of vibration. And there's all these different vibratory states. So what happens when you compare yourself? is you go back and forth between these things. So you're like, oh, I feel bad. I'm going to hop online so I feel good. But then you go back to your reality, physical realm. You go back to your reality. Okay. Reality. You go back to your reality. You feel bad again. And since you feel bad, boom, you have to go look at more fantasy. And then you feel bad again because it's not your life. And then you go back to look for more fantasy. And now you're addicted. Whoom, 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 whoom. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is addiction. This is a frequency. You have a frequency of addiction. You have a frequency of addiction because your emotions are dependent on the comparisons, on the things you're seeing, on the things you want, on the things you desire. And you keep getting swung up emotionally when really you need to end up caring less. But the first part of this is this comparison element. You just stop comparing yourself to people. Because what you don't seem to understand is that everyone is just showing the benefits of their life. But there is no benefits without drawbacks. This is once again the law of polarity. Okay? If you see something good, there is also something bad attached to it. Something bad attached to it. You don't know that girl you went to high school with who seems to be on all these trips and going everywhere is living a difficult mental existence as an escort, for instance. Or the guy that you went to school with who's making all this money and driving Rolls Royce and driving Lambos and jumping everywhere and doing everything.
He's a scammer.
The man's a scammer. The man's doing fraud. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know the benefits and the drawbacks of what these people are dealing with. You have no clue because they're showing you all the fantasy. They're not showing you any of this. So you think life is this when life has this too at the same time always. Okay? So you need to stop comparing yourself to people. And I would highly suggest, okay, to moderate your short form content consumption because it is messing with your head. That's a totally different discussion. But the algorithm is running games on you.
That's
okay?
a whole other video.
Whole other video. Exactly. All right. Number 2. This is a big deal.
Ooh.
You keep asking, when is it going to happen? Now, I already made a full video on this. My wife wasn't here, but I made a full video on this whole thing of when is it going to happen? You're doing all this manifestation stuff, right? You're watching all this content. You're seeing all the stuff people are doing. You're seeing everything everyone else is able to manifest, and it seems to happen quickly. And you're like, when is it going to happen for me? Now, I'm not going to go into the full depth of this that I did in my when is it going to happen video, but quickly what you need to understand, up here, peak of the spiritual plane, we have the all, okay? Which is God, Allah, Brahman, the universe, the Big Bang, whatever you want to conceptualize as the initial creation spark of the universe. Now, the all is timeless. Time is not a thing for the all, okay? Time is not a thing for God. Time dwells within the physical plane, within reality, okay? Time. Hopefully I get through this without getting interrupted by the pizza guy. We have pizza on the way. All you spiritual people, oh my gosh, don't eat pizza. Be vegan, please no.
Veganism nearly killed both of us.
Yes, you'll be fine, okay? You'll be fine. Can enjoy some pizza every now and then, all right? So the all is timeless. Reality deals in time. Now here's the problem. When you are constantly thinking about time, you get trapped in time, okay? You end up in a cycle of time because your frequency is built upon the things you pay attention to. It's one of the things that builds your frequency. So if you're constantly asking when, you're thinking about time. So what does the universe say? What does God see? He says, oh, this person is focused on time. I guess they want more time. What the hell?
That was very interesting.
I guess they want more time in between their current reality and what they actually want. I guess they want more time. in between there.
You know what's interesting? When we just met and I found the love of my life, aka you, around that time I was like, time's a freaking illusion. And that was around the time that I was just manifesting all the things that I wanted in my life so quickly.
It's true. I do remember that. So you're thinking about time constantly. So you're going to get trapped in time, and the things that you desire, they're never going to show up because you're constantly asking when. And God says, oh, when, time. I'll give you an example, okay? Once dated this girl, right? And for 7 years, long relationship. And she wanted to get married. And she kept asking me, when are you going to marry me, Seth? When are you going to marry me? When are you going to marry me? When are you going to marry me? Right? And, you know, me at the time, I didn't want to get married.
Until you met me.
Right, exactly. At the time, I didn't want to get married, right? And she kept asking this question, when? And it never happened. I went to go to the store with her, look at rings and stuff like that, which was not the nicest thing to do. You know what I mean? Not a perfect guy, wasn't a perfect guy, still not a perfect guy, but what?
You're perfect to me.
Oh, thanks. That's very nice of you. So yeah, she kept asking this question, when, right? And it never happened. We ended up breaking up, right? But then a year or two later, guess what happened? She got married. Y'all think I just be making up these things about the universe, okay? If you constantly ask when, it will not happen, okay? Because you need a level of, I need to write this in like a subtext, okay? You need a level of patience.
Patience is the process.
Patience is the process. That's a bar. That's dope. Patience is the process. Patience is knowing it will happen. That's what patience actually is. You're patient for the things you know will happen. I'm not patient about the things I'm guessing about. Like, oh my gosh, maybe, no, I don't know if it's gonna happen. No. I know it's gonna happen. And I'm patient since I know and I have certainty. You understand? I have conviction. I have faith. Okay? So you need patience and you need to stop asking when. And ladies, listen, if you have to keep asking, when is this man gonna marry me? I'm done talk. All right. So number 3 is, I will call this emotional sway. What does this mean?
It's a TikTok dance. No, I'm joking.
It basically means that you are emotionally dependent on external factors to change your mind, to change how you feel about yourself. What did I say at the beginning of this video? Happiness, manifestation occurs when you do not need to see reality change. When you don't have emotional dependence on seeing reality change. So you think getting more money, for instance, is going to make you happier. No, you're just going to amplify your frequency of being miserable if you have more money. Okay? For instance, when I had less money, okay, at one particular time, and then got more money, I got more stressed. I was already stressed to a certain degree, and then I got more money and got more stressed. Do you understand? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to you because you're going to watch this video and understand what to do. You need to not be emotionally dependent on physical things to change your emotional state. So money's one of them. You think when you get money, you're gonna be happier, you're gonna have more peace, you're gonna have more calm, you're gonna have more poise. If you do not feel these things now, money is just going to amplify how you already feel. If you are not at peace without money, you will not be at peace with money. If you are not calm without money, you will be less calm with money. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. I know people making millions of dollars a month. The stress levels they have are crazy. Calm? What calm? Peace? What peace? Happiness? Yeah, right. Okay. So, in order for this to happen, All you need to do is decide to feel how you would feel when you have the things you desire. You understand? When you have the things you desire. When you're the most calm, when you're the most at peace, when you're the most happy with life, when you don't need to see a reality change, is when it'll happen. So for instance, I could put out this YouTube video, take how many minutes to record this, edit it, whatever, put it out, and 10 people sees it, right? Now, some people, that would emotionally put them in the dumps, right? Me, I don't business. Like, I don't business, okay? I'm fine whether a whole bunch of people see it or a whole bunch of people don't see it because I have patience.
You know what's a good exercise is? Like, because we all go through times where we actually experience the emotions we want to feel. So like, say you get paid a whole bunch of money, or say you feel safe or secure somewhere, like taking that memory and like associating it with an object or a symbol or a word, and like kind of like in your head placing that together like a puzzle, so that in another instant where you may not feel like that, being able to pull up that memory so you can actually vibrate on that emotional level.
So what she just explained to you is known as a hypnotic anchor. I wasn't going to talk about that. I don't even know if I was going to talk about that at all on this channel, but what she just explained to you is a hypnotic anchor. When something good happens in your life, or something you perceive as good, or you get the emotions that you wanted to have, you attach it to something. You attach it to a word in your mind, a memory, an object. That is emotional anchoring. It's a hypnosis technique.
They don't call me a hypnotherapist for nothing.
The more you know, all right? So basically, the way to cancel the emotional sway is to feel how you would feel when you have the things you desire. And the way you do that is by canceling out your emotional charges through rhythm, through tempo shifting, which is something I teach in the next realm. So, but I also have videos about it on the channel all over. So number 4 is okay. Okay. What do I mean by okay? What do you mean number 4 is okay? I need you to understand something, okay? I actually say okay way too much.
You do say it a lot, but it's because you're always just okay.
Yeah, exactly. So check this. You're watching this video right now. You're listening to me speak right now. You probably have a phone or a laptop or a tablet or a TV that you're watching this on. And in this moment, you're okay. You're totally fine. You're all right. Your life's all right. You're fed. You likely have somewhere to live. You have the ability to have some leisure time to learn these things. You are okay. When you realize that you have always been okay because you're here now, you're okay now, that means you will likely be okay in the future. You'll be totally fine. Whether whatever it is you want to have happens, occurs tomorrow or 10 years from now, you will be totally fine. You're okay. When you understand this, it becomes way easier to be at peace. It becomes way easier to not need to see reality change. It becomes way simpler to not be worried and on the negative side of things and have fear and all these problems, all this negative polarity. The super positive side is no better either. When you fall into fantasy and you fall into infatuation and all these sorts of things, is the same thing ends up happening to you. So if you're overly fantastical about things, your life will also be problematic. The key is to get centered.
It's true though, because even when you hear about like other rich people, when they're talking about like when they were growing or when they were in what they thought was the struggle, they realized they were still okay back then. And some even like sometimes they're like, I wish I could go back then. Mm-hmm. It's like because they realized they were always okay.
Yep, absolutely. You know, some of my best times was like just working on building up life. Some of my best times is when I didn't have money and I was in the studio with my friends and we were just talking and everything was okay. Mm-hmm. Everything was okay. So, you've been okay before, you're okay now, you'll be okay in the future. And when you realize this, you will have peace, you will have calm, you will have poise. And that is the emotional charge that you need to manifest the things that you desire. That is the emotional charge you need to not see reality have to change, to not be emotionally triggered by reality changing. You'll be just fine. You'll be cool. You get it tomorrow, you don't get it tomorrow, you'll be fine. You'll be good. And as I always say, reality is rigged in your favor. So it hasn't happened today because it's not supposed to happen today. If it happens tomorrow, it was supposed to happen tomorrow because reality is rigged in your favor. And as long as you understand that, you will not be emotionally swung. You will not deal with comparisons. You will not ask when constantly. Please watch that video if you haven't watched it yet because it's very important, because I know plenty of you are asking this question. You won't be emotionally swayed and you will realize you're okay. You'll always be okay. That being said, you need any help with this? Join my next Realm program. So the link is in the description below. And from me and wifey, see you next time. Peace.
Every single time I put up the peace sign. Every single time.
Good. Pizza didn't even arrive yet, man. These people are moving slow.
Well, you know what? We're not asking when.
You're
okay?
right.
We're not comparing it to us having pieces versus not. I'm not being emotionally swayed, and I'm okay regardless if it's here right now or not.
Good job.